It's safe to say that it's becoming increasingly difficult for Chinese people to invest in real estate in the US. At this time, Chinese investment capital has found new destinations, and a notable one is Thailand. This is Shanghai resident Daniel Bian. He drinks in the sweeping views over the Thai capital from the 19th floor rooftop swimming pool of a luxury condominium that may become his second home.
Bangkok!
Hello, Bangkok, he shouts happily as his 70-year-old mother looks on, smiling. Cooped up in China for 3 years under some of the world's toughest curbs on COVID-19, Bian is among a flood of mainland Chinese hunting for property in the Southeast Asian nation since Beijing opened its borders this year. Many are eager to invest in a second home, keen for a safety net in case of a similar disease outbreak, and also to hedge against economic risks at home. Everyone in China is thinking about the ways and opportunities through which they can make their money grow. The property market in Thailand is definitely something we can discuss as a possibility. And if we have in-depth discussions about whether we really want to buy one property in Thailand, we definitely feel that there are plus factors, like we will be able to holiday. There's more freedom and convenience in Thailand. The freedom to enter or leave the country, to travel back and forth, as well as the freedom of society and life. Freedom is very important. We see Owen Ju, a real estate agent targeting Chinese buyers, accompanying Bian, a 50-year-old and his 70-year-old mother. The mother, wearing a stylish form-fitting white dress with a matching hat and veil on her head, was touring 3 upscale condominiums in Bangkok. According to Trip.com, Thailand is the most popular outbound destination for Chinese travelers during the May Day holiday, followed by Japan and Korea. Thailand expects at least 5 million Chinese tourists this year, some of whom are ready to buy real estate. Reuters reported that the president of the Thai Real Estate Association said that the top buyers are in the major cities such as the capital Bangkok, as well as the northern mountainous region of Chiang Mai, the east coast beach resort of Pattaya, and the northeastern region of Isan. Most of the foreigners are from China. About 50% are from Chinese buyers of all the foreign buyers. Actually, before COVID-19, Chinese buyers accounted for 60% of the revenue by foreigners. Then it slowed down during COVID to about 40%. You can see that Chinese nationals play a key role in stimulating the condominium industry in Thailand. Thailand is very cautious about incoming immigrants. Foreigners can buy a home in Thailand, but that doesn't mean they can apply for immigration. Foreigners can only buy condominiums in general, not properties with land. The Thai government requires that no more than 49% of any condominium development be owned by foreigners, but potential buyers are still pouring in. If one buys a condo in Thailand that costs at least 10 million baht, one can get a 5-year permanent residence visa, and foreigners over 50 can apply for a senior citizen visa and live in Thailand for a long time. As a result, more and more wealthy Chinese are buying homes here. They send their parents to retire in Thailand and send their children to international schools. So how many people are buying homes in Thailand? There is no accurate public data yet, but one figure can be used for reference. Earlier this year, the percentage of Chinese students at Singapore International School Bangkok rose to between 12 and 13%, or about 400 Chinese students out of 3,100 students at 4 school districts, far more than the 6% rate before the 2019 pandemic. That's more than double the percentage before the 2019 pandemic. In addition, Taiwan Central News Agency relayed data from real estate technology firm JUY that Thailand rose to become the number 3 global destination for Chinese homebuyers in December 2022. The company's statistics show a 107% spike in real estate-related inquiries from Chinese buyers in Thailand in the third and fourth quarters of 2022. Before the pandemic, most Chinese buyers bought middle or lower-level homes for investment because they can earn more by getting a cheaper property. But it has changed a lot after the pandemic. Most of the Chinese choose to buy luxury apartments to live in.
多的选择这个高端的这种公寓。
The number of buyers has increased, but there isn't a huge supply of good homes in the market. In the near future, there might be an obvious growth in the high-end real estate market. In fact, it has already been growing. We are already feeling the spike in demand for certain projects.
That is, since the outbreak, more wealthy Chinese have decided to buy property in Thailand and send their families to Thailand. Why is that? First of all, in terms of international relations, the diplomatic and economic relations between the CCP and Thailand are relatively stable. Since Thailand is on the South Central Peninsula, it isn't currently a major geopolitical ally of the US in the containment of the CCP. So, Sino-Thai relations aren't prone to a confrontational situation with tension. Coupled with the fact that Thailand isn't close to the Taiwan Strait or the South China Sea, the risk of war is quite low, which also allows Chinese investors to avoid the asset risk and risk of entry and exit from the country due to geopolitical conflicts. The US is now leading the world's industrial supply chain to decouple from the CCP, so it has driven many companies to move production capacity overseas or pull out of China. Thailand is the next base for many Taiwanese businessmen and foreign investors, and the cost of production in Thailand is about 25% cheaper than in China. Some analysts believe that the supply chain of the whole Southeast Asia region is expected to be completed within 5 years. So, it's predicted that the whole of Southeast Asia, together with India and other regions, will replace China and become the new world factory. Chinese investment in Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and other Southeast Asian countries has increased significantly in the past 5 years, with Thailand being the most favored. According to the Asian Investment Report 2022, direct investment from China has increased by 96% annually to nearly US $14 billion in 2021, mainly in the manufacturing, digital economy, infrastructure, and real estate sectors. 47.5% of Chinese investments in Thailand are in the electrical and electronics industry, which is the most popular industry in the world and the main battleground of the US-China confrontation. So it's estimated that more Chinese capital will come to Thailand to develop the electrical and electronic industry. For the rich or upper middle class, going to Thailand in advance to purchase property and layout is also equivalent to layout for their own companies or work. A contrast to this is the United States. Recently, American society is becoming more and more aggressive in guarding against the CCP. For example, on April 11, 2023, Florida state legislator voted to ban the Chinese government and Chinese citizens from purchasing real estate and agricultural land in Florida. More states are likely to follow suit after the alarm over the massive land purchases by the CCP in the US. Also blacklisted are Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, and Syria. The bill is clearly aimed at the CCP threat, with Chapter 7 specifically stating that any CCP official, Chinese government employee, member of another Chinese political party, or Chinese person in a business institution whose principal business is in China shall not purchase and close on Florida real estate after July 1, 2023. The bill also provides that non-US citizens who are long-term residents of China may not purchase Florida real estate. The bill was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis in early May, making Florida the first state to restrict land ownership by entities and individuals associated with certain foreign totalitarian regimes, particularly the CCP. The state of Utah in the US passed a similar measure this year. Several other state governments are considering similar restrictions, and some members of Congress are pushing their own land purchase bills. In terms of the internal environment of China's wealthy, the Chinese economy is now in recession, and the political situation is quite unstable. The communist government is pushing hard for the so-called common prosperity, and the rich are worried that their assets will be taken by the government in some form. The Beijing government is also preparing to introduce a real estate tax. On April 25, 2023, the government announced the full implementation of unified registration of real estate. According to the official media Xinhua news agency, it means that after 10 years of efforts, a unified real estate registration system covering all national spaces and all real estate property rights from urban houses to rural residential bases, from real estate to natural resources, has been fully established. This has caused panic among the wealthy, as it's likely to be a prelude to the imposition of a real estate tax. In that case, for the rich people in China, taking their money to Thailand to buy properties is tantamount to transferring their money overseas to hedge their risks. One is to avoid having their assets communized by the CCP, and the other is to avoid further tightening of foreign exchange controls by the CCP, which may not even allow them to transfer their money. In the eyes of the rich Chinese, Thailand is much cheaper in terms of prices and housing compared to China. 10 million baht, which is equivalent to about 2 million RMB, this amount of money can buy a luxury condominium in Thailand that makes one entitled to a senior visa for long-term residence. But in China's first-tier cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, one can only buy a very ordinary home. So money-wise, buying a home in Thailand is much more cost-effective. Moreover, Thailand is very close to China, and the cultural customs of the two countries are similar. Many Chinese who don't know much about the West and are soaked in CCP propaganda believe that there is much discrimination against Chinese in North America and therefore feel more comfortable with Southeast Asia. For the wealthy or upper-middle-class Chinese, buying a home in Thailand is not only a vacation home, but it can also be used for retirement in the future.
在这边如果完全纯粹为了投资不自己住的话呢
It would be a pity to buy a property solely for investment and not live in it, because Thailand is comfortable to live in and the society is caring, which makes it a place worth going to and holidaying in. This is an important consideration when we're looking at properties for investment in Bangkok or other countries, and a differentiating factor, which is our vacation needs.
最重要的一个分水岭的区别就是我们会考虑到自己度假的需要。
Buying real estate is a way for the Chinese to legally transfer assets and obtain residency in Thailand. In fact, more and more Chinese are eager to flee the red state. In addition to legal means, some Chinese have resorted to risky and illegal means to obtain Thai citizenship. The practice of commercial surrogacy is illegal in Thailand. On April 5th, Thai TV channel PPTV released a video on its Facebook page revealing details of Chinese people seeking Thai women for surrogacy. An immigration official said in the video that some Chinese, so-called Chinese parents, wanted to have children born to Thai women so that as fathers to children with Thai nationality, they would be able to stay in Thailand on the grounds of supporting the children. When the children grow to be 20 years old and become legal adults, the fathers, who are foreign nationals, would have turned 50 and could apply to stay in Thailand on a senior visa. The children are Thai nationals, so they can pursue any occupation they like, and there is no restriction on holding property, land, etc. As of April 11th, there were nearly 3,500 comments below the video. One of the comments, which received thousands of likes, said, "A child whose father is Chinese should first have a DNA test to trace the time and visa of his Chinese father's entry into Thailand and what business he has in Thailand. Don't rush to provide Thai nationality for the child. Otherwise, in the long run, Chinese fathers can buy Thai land through their children who have Thai nationality. This plan could even lead to the end of Thailand. Examples can be seen in our neighboring countries. Moreover, there have been frequent incidents of Chinese people staying in Thailand illegally. On January 17, 2023, Thai media The Nation reported that the deputy chief of the Thai police revealed that a police investigation revealed that 80 immigration officials allegedly colluded with Chinese nationals living in Thailand to issue visas such as student visas and other forms of visas to thousands of Chinese nationals between 2020 and 2021 so that they could stay in Thailand and engage in illegal activities. 3 of the 80 immigration officials involved were even of the rank of general. Yet, the reality is, while Thailand's diplomatic relation with the Chinese government is stable, the Communist Party's infiltration of Thailand is also relatively deep. According to an investigation by an overseas human rights agency, the CCP has also set up overseas police stations in Thailand. As reported by Radio Free Asia, a UN refugee stranded in Thailand, Xinjiang, was taken away in April 2019 after Chinese security officials broke into his house and showed him an arrest warrant. Thai police were present at the time. According to informants, Xing is suspected of having been arrested across the border by Jiangsu police for exposing online the corruption of local officials in Jiangsu province. Xing had previously been threatened by the police that if he didn't delete the post, they would send someone to Thailand to arrest him. According to Radio Free Asia, there have been a number of incidents in Thailand where Chinese human rights activists who have been granted UN refugee status have been abducted by Chinese secret police and taken back to China. Another well-known case is that of Gui Minhai, the owner of the Causeway Bay bookstore in Hong Kong. He was forcibly abducted from his residence in Pattaya, Thailand by plainclothes Chinese police in 2015 and brought back to China, where he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Prior to that, the bookstore owner had obtained citizenship in Sweden. Later, the bookstore owner appeared on Chinese state television.
回国自首是我个人
To surrender to China is my personal and voluntary choice. It has nothing to do with anyone.
没有关系，我也不希望
I also don't want any individual or organization, including the Swedish authorities, to intervene or interfere with my return to China.
或者干涉我回国的事情。
In 2018, the then Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said, although Gui Minhai is a Swedish citizen, the case he is involved in must be handled in accordance with Chinese law, and the Swedish authorities should be aware of the serious nature of the case and the shady role played by certain people on the Swiss side in it. We absolutely do not accept the Swiss side ignoring the Chinese notification and repeatedly making irresponsible remarks. We strongly demand the Swedish authorities not do anything to damage mutual trust between the two sides, as well as affect the overall relationship between the two countries. Daniel Bian, who appeared at the beginning of the episode, went to Thailand to buy a luxury home because he thought it was important to be free and safe.
比较自由。
There's more freedom and convenience in Thailand, the freedom to enter or leave the country, to travel back and forth, as well as the freedom of society and life. Freedom is very important.
自由是很重要的一点。
But many wealthy Chinese, like him, may not realize that Thailand is not that reliable if they want their freedom and personal safety to be protected fully.